Alrighty, I want to welcome everybody to the November 11th, 2024 City Jenkins Council meeting. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll, please?
Ernestine.
Here.
Chuck.
Here.
Sean.
Here.
Rick.
Here.
Josh.
Here.
Garnet.
Here.
Alright, if you would stand and Chuck, would you do some prayer, please?
Dear Lord, we're just thankful to be able to gather here tonight to discuss the business of our city. And Lord, we just pray that as we have our discussions, we do so according to your will. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Now, would you join me for the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alrighty, now, I want to thank all the veterans that made it possible for us to do what we just did and be able to do what we're going to do going forward. Whoever served and when they served, if they're still serving, and the families of those that served, because I'm sure it's a worry for them to be out in the world and protecting our freedoms, so I want to thank them. Alrighty, in your packet, you've got the October minutes.
I make a motion to approve as presented.
I'll second.
Having a motion second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Alrighty, also, you've got the financial report for October in your packet.
I move that we approve it as presented.
I'll second.
Alrighty, having a motion second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. CRED report.
You got a full house. I won't take up too much of your time tonight, Mayor. We just turned in 58 ARC applications in October. That's one of our biggest lenders for all of our projects around here in our full service area. Several of those were for this. I have your packet here. I'm sorry.
That's fine, we don't have to go through all that.
Some did make it around. I personally turned in the wastewater treatment plant improvement, HB 723, which is for the matching funds, and that was approved.
Okay.
So we're still waiting to get the big bulk of that from ARC, but we're chipping away at it. We've got 3 different applications for that are approved now. So that's good news. And we have several resolutions here for you tonight for Raven Rock, another one for the sewer INI. Lisa's working her way through those Raven Rocks, and I'm working on that sewer INI this month. So those are a little bit further down on your agenda, but those are all for us.
Okay, yeah, once we get them, we'll get April soon to you tomorrow.
Yep, no
That way
problem.
you don't have to wait
No
on
problem at
that.
all. April's fantastic, so
Okay.
no worries. But
All right.
that's pretty much it. So we're
Thanks for the update,
Okay.
and what she's talking about got approved is the legislator has got a new program to where we can take some state money and match federal money, which is a big deal for us, because if we've got 20,000, 40,000, whatever, it's hard for us to match, but
yeah.
you can apply the legislator and we have to pay 2% of the total of our match, which makes it a lot more affordable for us, but then we can leverage, instead of $100,000, we can leverage $1 million or whatever it ends up being.
Yeah,
So
the general ARC matches 20%. So if we put in for $1 million through ARC, you still have to find that $20,000 for yourself.
yeah.
And the HB 723 is a state program that applies state funds to cover that matching amount. There's still a very small local match, but it's 1 to 2% of what you ask from the state instead of the 20% of the entire project cost. So it really lowers the out of cost for the city a lot. Jennifer also had a meeting with the legislators about that project because we are desperately trying to get them to cover that dam project.
Yeah.
So they don't want to work with Army Corps of Engineers. That's not on one of their list of approved people, and we're trying hard to get them to make an exception and put them on there.
Okay.
So we're still working on that one. And I was excited to get the wastewater treatment plant, so we're still waiting for the big
Well,
money from ARC, but...
That's
we're
news to
working
me,
on
and I'm
it,
tickled
so-
to death to hear it, but it
Yeah.
is good the legislature put that in there with some of their surplus money.
Yeah, it's a
Make it possible.
fantastic program. They're coming up to the end of it, and we're crossing our fingers that they do it again this second year. The first year, they gave us $20 million and said, see what you can do with this. The second year, they gave us $200 million and said, see what you can do with this. And by us, I mean the state, not just us. And we've worked our way through that 200 pretty fast, so we're hoping that they continue that again so that we can continue to get those match funds from the state. It would just make so many projects possible that would not otherwise be possible.
It is. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Have a good evening.
All righty. Nesbit.
some of the things she touched on, the sewer line, phase one, there's over budget, so they're still seeking additional funding. I think she mentioned there. The City Hall ADA improvements, design has been completed, and the KY HVC permits have been received, and the advertised for bid and open hopefully by the end of the year
Okay.
for that project.
I knew it was moving because the state building inspector started calling, won't know when we was gonna get started. So,
Yeah.
hopefully.
The City Hall roof and building improvements is still seeking funding with CRAD. The wastewater treatment plant expansion and replacement is waiting for approval to bid from the AML funding.
Okay.
The water line replacement phase 6 is still seeking funding, but funding applications have been submitted on that project. The Grandview water and sewer extension is seeking funding. Same thing though, the applications have been submitted for that as well.
We've got DRs for both of them and a DW for phase 6.
And then sewer I&I phase 2 is still seeking funding. The city park renovations seeking additional funding, but in project planning, and the Raven Rock water and sewer extension seeking, or the funding is secured. Preliminary design is started. So we start working on that.
Alrighty, things are moving along.
Got a question on the ADA improvements. Is that ready to be advertised?
Let's see.
Second.
See, advertised open. So yeah, probably the way they get it worded is.
We're waiting on final funded notification. It looks like it's gonna happen, but then it'll be.
According to their update in the CRAD, it's funding's there.
That's there. It may be right there on the line of,
Yeah, we've not got official notification.
official notice
So,
yet.
Okay.
yeah, I mean, it's just, we've jumped all the hoops to get it, and they have to send that final letter saying, here's the money, and we get a big blue check, and hopefully we don't have to wait a year to get going, because we've got everything lined up. Architecture and design work and stuff is there. And hopefully we get some good bids and don't run over and have to go back and try to find a little more money here or there, but that's just the nature of the beast in government work. All right, ERCist update. We're closing out a few projects. We've still got some extensions up through 2026, like the debris removal around the dam because of the engineering that's been done with. If we have to match what our engineers tell us with what mitigation measures FEMA come up with, because they talked about putting geotech cloth on the dam and laying rock in front of it. And we're looking for actual fix, not something that's just going to take care of for a little while. But we're working through all that, and we're also working with Snobble Engineering on one part, and then we're also still trying to seek funding to do the match with the Army Corps of Engineers. We have to come up with $1.5 million match to do their $3 million study to look at long term, but short term with the Snobble or Snable, I don't know how you say it, with their work, we're working on that part of it to get it going. So, there's a couple culverts that needs blacktop. They fixed the culvert, and there's a couple culverts not been fixed. It's just a process with them because they procure and take the bids and help pick the construction crews that actually come out and do the work. So we got most of it done, but there's still some pieces left out. We were officially handed over from FEMA to the state, so all of our dealings will be directly with the state now. We don't have a program manager with FEMA. It's just, it timed out, and that's where that's at. That's it didn't cause any hurricanes or anything like that, but that's just part of it, the way it works. Alrighty, Raven Rock Extension Resolution.
Doesn't matter what order we do these in.
No, just,
All right, I've got them separately numbered. Resolution 111124A. Resolution of the City of Jenkins accepting the grant, approving the grant assistance agreement, authorizing the amendment of the City of Jenkins annual budget, and authorizing a representative to sign all related documents. Whereas the Kentucky General Assembly has appropriated funds for infrastructure projects in House Bill 1 of the 2024 regular session of the Kentucky General Assembly, and whereas the City of Jenkins, friends, the quote grantee, in quote close friends, has previously determined that it is in the public interest to acquire and construct certain facilities and improvements to the grantee's utility system, for instance, the quote project, in quote, close friends, semicolon. And whereas the grantee desires funding from the Kentucky Infrastructure Authority, for instance, the quote, authority, close friends, for the purpose of acquisition and construction of the project, and whereas in order to obtain a grant for the project and administered by the authority, the grantee is required to enter into an assistance agreement, for instance, the quote, agreement, close friends, with the authority. Now therefore be it resolved by the governing body of the city of Jenkins as follows. Section 1, the grantee is hereby accepts the grant award and approves agreements between the grantee and the authority to provide the necessary funds to the grantee for the project. That Mayor Todd D. Priest and any successor entitled is hereby designated to be the grantee's authorized official for this project, and is hereby directed and empowered by the grantee to execute the agreement, related documents and agreements, and otherwise act on behalf of the grantee to effect such grant award and to engage a qualified project administrator. Section 3, that the grantee hereby agrees and commits to include by amendment to its annual budget and audit process the receipts and expenditures of funds subject to the agreement up to and including the date of the project closeout. Section 4, that this resolution shall take effect at the earliest time provided by law, adopted on this 11th day of November 2024, signature Mayor, attestation clerk.
That should be the wastewater treatment plant repair project resolution.
Second reading.
Resolution just has it. So,
Make a motion to pass this resolution as read.
I'll second it.
having a motion second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. All right, you're getting right here the same resolution exactly again.
Resolution 111124B, resolution of the city of Jenkins accepting the grant, approving the grant assistance agreement, authorizing the amendment of the city of Jenkins annual budget, and authorizing a representative to sign all related documents. Whereas the Kentucky General Assembly has appropriated funds for the infrastructure projects in House Bill 1 of the 2024 regular session of the Kentucky General Assembly. And whereas the city of Jenkins, friends, the quote grantee, close friends, has previously determined that it is in the public interest to acquire and construct certain facilities and improvements to the grantee's utility system, friends, the quote project, close friends, semicolon. And whereas the grantee desires funding from the Kentucky Infrastructure Authority, friends, the quote authority, close friends, for the purpose of acquisition and construction of the project, and whereas in order to obtain a grant for the project and administered by the authority, grantee is required to enter into an assistance agreement, for instance, quote, agreement, in quote, close friends, with the authority. Now therefore be it resolved by the governing body of the city of Jenkins as follows, Section 1, grantee hereby accepts and grants award and approves the agreement between the grantee and the authority to provide the necessary funds to the grantee for the project. Section 2, that Mayor Todd D. Priest and any successor entitled is hereby designated to be the grantee's quote authorized official, end quote, for this project, and is hereby directed and empowered by the grantee to execute the agreement, related documents and agreements, and otherwise act on behalf of the grantee to effect such grant award and to engage a qualified project administrator. Section 3, that the grantee hereby agrees to and commits to include by amendment to the annual budget and audit process the receipt and expenditures of funds subject to the agreement up to and including the date of project closeouts. Section 4, this resolution shall take effect at the earliest time provided by law, adopted on November 11, 2024. Signature line, Mayor, attestation, clerk.
All right, need a motion to approve.
What is this one for?
This one is, you've got 3. This one will be Raven Rock Sewer Extension.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All right, having a motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Now, we've got this one more time. And then we've got a unique one after this one.
All popcorn. Resolution 111124C. Resolution of the City of Jenkins accepting the grant, approving the grant assistance agreement, authorizing the amendment of the City of Jenkins annual budget and authorizing the representative to sign all related documents. Whereas the Kentucky General Assembly has appropriated funds for the infrastructure projects in House Bill 1 of the 2022 regular session of the Kentucky General Assembly for the Cleaner Water Program, and whereas the City of Jenkins, friends, the quote grantee, close friends, has previously determined that it is in the public interest to acquire and construct certain facilities and improvements to the grantee's utility system. The project, close friends, semicolon, and whereas the grantee desires funding from the Kentucky Infrastructure Authority, friends, the quote authority, close friends, for the purpose of acquisition and construction of the project, and whereas in order to obtain a grant from the Cleaner Water Program for the project and administered by the authority, the grantee is required to enter into an assistance agreement, friends, the quote agreement, close friends, with the authority. Now therefore be it resolved by the governing body of the City of Jenkins as follows. Section 1, that the grantee hereby accepts the grant award and approves the agreement between the grantees and the authority to provide the necessary funds to the grantee for the project. Section 2, that Mayor Todd D. Priest and successors entitled is hereby designated to be the grantee's quote authorized official, end quote, for the project, and is hereby directed and empowered by the grantee to execute the agreement-related documents and agreements and otherwise act on behalf of the grantee to effect such grant award and to engage a qualified project administrator. Section 3, that the grantee hereby agrees and commits to include by amendment to its annual budget and audit process, receipts and expenditures of the funds to the agreement up to and including the date of the project closing. Section 4, that this resolution shall take effect at the earliest time provided by law, adopted on November 11, 2024. Signature line, Mayor, attestation, clerk.
Alrighty, that's the wastewater treatment plant project resolution.
I'll make a motion. Approve it. Second.
Got a motion and second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. All right, last resolution. This is for the sewer I&I project, and it is a little bit different, so I'll do the same thing over. On this one, Randall, we numbered it 11-4-24 because of the last
I
one.
got that. It should be 1111.
Okay. 24D.
Well, it's
No,
going to
this
be
is without
no,
A.
Oh, okay.
No alphabet
3A,
inside.
okay, so just 11.
yeah.
All right.
Authorizing Resolution 111124, City of Jenkins Sewer I&I Project. Adoption of a resolution of the City of Jenkins, friends, quote, entity, close friends, authorizing the completion and filing of a government resource acceleration needed transformation, parentheses, GRANT, close friends, program of 2024 project application for up to $304,845 in grant program of 2024 funds with the Cabinet for Economic Development, friends, quote, CED, close friends, semicolon, authorizing and directing the mayor parentheses, quote, authorized representative, end quote, close friends, of the city of Jenkins, friends, quote, entity, close quotes, close friends, to execute any documents which are deemed necessary by CED to carry out this project, and authorizing the authorized representatives to act as the authorized correspondent for the project, permitting review and execution of all agreements and request of all disbursements related to the grant program of 2024, whereas the entity desires to promote and carry out community development efforts on behalf of the residents of Letcher County, friends, Polk County, close friends, by supporting the grant program of 2024 projects. And whereas the entity is submitting or has submitted an application for the following grant program, Appalachian Regional Commission, with the intent to access federal grant resources that are in the public interest and for a public purpose, may seek funding assistance in preparing and/or completing applications for federal resources, whereas it is recognized that the grant program of 2024 money is available to the entity for the purpose stated herein pursuant to KRS 147A.150, 147A.166 imposes certain obligations and responsibilities upon the entity and will be required, among other things, friends, 1, approval of a satisfactory application submitted to CED for approval. Friends, 2, proper registration to do business within the Commonwealth. And friends, 3, other obligations of the entity in connection with receiving the grant program of 2024 monies for the purposes stated herein. Now therefore be it resolved on the 7th day of November 2024 by the city of Jenkins that a grant program of 2024 application on behalf of the entity for grant program 2024 monies up to $30,845 for the Jenkins I&I project shall be submitted to CED. The entity shall provide such additional information and furnish such documentation as be required, and the authorized representative shall act as the authorized correspondent for this project. As of this 11th day of November 2024, motion made and seconded by the record, signed by the mayor and station city clerk.
Alrighty, that's resolution 111124.
Make a motion to pass that resolution.
I'll second.
Already having a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay, that's got us through the resolution portion of our program here. Boys basketball roadblock request.
I'll make a motion that there ain't nothing with that date. I'm good. I'll make that motion to approve it.
Second.
All right, motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. December meeting date, it falls right up against Thanksgiving is right up against the weekend, so it's Thursday or Friday off. And for everybody to get their stuff together, all reports and stuff, need to move that meeting till what Monday we want.
I guess that's the one after that. What
Just
day
the
is it?
following Monday, the 9th.
Can't do the second Monday? I have a meeting on the 9th.
The 9th is the second Monday.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So December 9th.
Yeah, I just need a motion to move our next regular meeting to the 9th, so
I'll make that motion.
so it can be counted as a regular meeting. All right, have a motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Alrighty. The letter that Randall, or the one she made copies of, for the you want to explain the sale?
Council has before the letter from the mayor, which is by statute that certifies that the lot in Rocky Hall called Lizzie Mullins Tract is owned by the city by right of condemnation. And the mayor is making a recommendation that the city, or the mayor is declaring the interest that has this property sold by private sale and would ask the council to waive the public sale requirement, given that's in the best interest of the city, and that the expectation is we'll get more money by the private sale. This is typically, we have done this many times before. This is no different than the previous letters he has written you all about other properties.
Any more questions or entertain a motion to approve the sale?
Was it one or two? Because there's lot 8 and 9. Is that one tract?
It's on one piece.
That's
yeah.
one deed.
I'll make that motion. I'll second.
All right, having a motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. All right, we'll wait on council, we'll go ahead and get citizen concerns going. Before we get started, remember like last time, everybody gets 3 minutes. If you would stand up, give your name and where you live or what part of town or where you're from. And also a reminder, we can't hold court tonight. We can bring up concerns and things going on. If there's anything specific to a police officer, we have ways of handling that through the police commission. So if it's specific and about a specific thing that's maybe lead to that, so think about that. You can do a statement and we can take it to the police commission and work it through that way. But actually, if you want to, you can go ahead.
I'm Ashley, and I live in Rocky Hollow. So this is an altercation between me, my son Grayson, and my son Levi, our dog Nyla, and Johnny Tindall. On Thursday, October 31st, Halloween, around 3:25, I came home from picking my son up, and Johnny Tindall took 2 children from the bus stop at school. We have an automated gate opener to get into our property, which is completely fenced in. I pressed the gate key, and Nyla was waiting patiently, as shown on my security cameras. As the gate opened, she saw a roaming chicken, which you can see on the ordinance, that's owned by Johnny Tindall. It was on a city driveway, which is approximately 2 feet from my driveway. She began to chase the chicken. My neighbor pulled out a silver handgun from his vehicle where he was standing and shot Nyla. She cried out and ran home. He continued to shoot 2 more times in the direction of my vehicle where my 2 children and I were. I rushed to Nyla, and my mom rushed to help me. My mom confronted him on the driveway. He began to cuss and walk towards her with the handgun in his possession. My 6-year-old Grayson and I were scared for her safety. The police were called at 3:29. Officer Jim Stevens arrived around 3:42. He walked down to where we were with Nyla. I told him Johnny shot my dog. My son Grayson was hysterical. Jim Stevens told him to take his 2-year-old brother and sit in the vehicle. Jim left to talk to Johnny while we loaded our dog into the vehicle. As I was leaving, Jim had Johnny in handcuffs but failed to tell us what he was being arrested for. He said we needed to worry about getting our dog to the vet. We arrived to the vet with our dog who was suffering and had to be euthanized. We later saw he was arrested for failure to appear on a warrant and was immediately arrested from jail. Since then, nothing has been done, and we're scared for our safety in our home. I would like to add before this, there's been numerous complaints to the city and Officer Jim Stevens about this event and other events, and nothing's been done.
Okay. Anybody got anything to add to what we're talking about right now?
Told me that Jim, I couldn't hear
All right. Go ahead there.
Johnny told me when I approached him, and I said, "Are you proud of yourself for what you did to these dogs?" He said, "Well, what about my GD chickens?" And I said, "Well, the police is on the way." He said, "That's fine. He's the one told me to shoot it."
Okay. Anybody else have anything to add with this?
Should I stand?
Yes, please, and just tell us who you are that way.
My name is Fern Gaffey, and I'm briefly going to run on what Ashley said, but I murdered on October 31st. I've known my friend to be a responsible pet owner, and her dog Nyla was always kept within a fenced area and has never been known to be aggressive or unruly to anything or anyone. This incident, however, has raised serious concerns about safety, fairness, and law enforcement responses. Considering Ashley and her family are dedicated members of our community and her commitment to this town runs deep, clearly, as her husband currently resides on the city council, following in the footsteps of her dad. On the day in question, Nyla had briefly chased a chicken that legally shouldn't be within city limits and that had wandered onto my friend's property. In response, the neighbor, Mr. Tennell, reportedly discharged a firearm, striking Nyla multiple times. My friend and her family, including her young children, witnessed this event and were ultimately all in harm's way with an untrained marksman shooting in their direction, which has left them completely shaken and heartbroken. The decision to use a firearm felt very extreme and completely unnecessary. The officer who responded to the scene, Officer Jim Stevens, initially acted with apparent certainty, but it's concerning that he subsequently sought confirmation from the county prosecutor and county attorney to verify his actions right after the incident, as he mentioned in the last city council meeting. This raises questions about the appropriateness of the response as well as the level of consideration given to Ashley's account of events, considering he didn't get an official statement from her, just a brief what happened as the traumatic event was ongoing and the needs of her children and her suffering dog were taking precedent and all her immediate attention. Adding to these concerns, numerous complaints have been filed about Mr. Tennell's animals roaming freely and causing disturbances. It is frustrating and disheartening to know that despite these complaints, action was not taken sooner to address potential issues with Mr. Tennell's animals, while my friend's dog suffered a tragic outcome, and that her and her small children are going to have to work through together to make any sense of this blatant cruelty. I urge the council to look into the details of this case, review the actions of local law enforcement, and please consider the broader community impact. This incident has left my friend and her family feeling completely unsafe and unheard, and I hope that today's discussion can lead to a fair and thoughtful resolution, because this family deserves to feel safe and supported in the community that they've served and lived in for so long.
Thank you. Anybody else have anything with the Rocky Holler piece?
I do.
Okay.
I live on the other side, right across the street from Johnny.
State your name.
Elizabeth Jones. And I brought pictures. I bought Lige Johnson's property after he passed away, and Johnny has taken over exactly half of my property, Lige's property. I know it's a civil matter, but when I bought the property, there was a letter from a lawyer who did the sale, who sent him a letter, Johnny, that said he had 30 days to remove everything off of my property, or it would just be defaulted to the new owner. He ripped it up and cussed and carried on when he got it out in front of the house, and nothing's ever been moved. And his dogs, he has 3 dogs, and my son has been bitten 3 or 4 times by these dogs when we first moved in. Nothing was ever done about it. The dogs, right after this incident, his own dog bit his little girl in the face, and the dog, there have been social workers out there, there have been dog wardens out there, there have been police out there. They told him he had to quarantine his dog and left it to him to quarantine. We had videos and pictures the whole time. The dog was never put in the house. It's never been in quarantine, never had its shots. And with the property situation, if I go down there and do anything with his stuff, I fear for my safety. I might be the next one. And we live in this day in and day out with Johnny Tennell. And, I don't think it's fair that every time we call the police, Jim Stevens gives us all the big story. Oh, he's such a great guy, and he has picture proof that he takes care of his animals, he takes care of his kids. We get the riot act read to us every time, and he never even investigates. He doesn't do anything. And so, would you like to see the pictures?
If you want to share them with the council, we can look at them.
Okay. And I also brought these pictures because one of them shows
where the city street comes down to a dead end, to my property, to the right, and he has a gate and a driveway to his left, to the left of these pictures. And so you all can look at them. The one with the swimming pool is his yard. The one with the big houseboat, that's all his stuff that's on my property. So he has a driveway. As you come down that city street, he's supposed to be turning left to go into his driveway, but he's got that gate shut there. He keeps his yard all nice and clean for his, well, I don't know about clean, but keeps it open for his kids, you know, all their stuff. While, you know, me and my children don't have any yard, we don't have any place. He just takes it over. And then he took over the other property on the backside of the graveyard. He's built an entire structure over there, a big chicken coop, and these chickens have been roaming the neighborhood for the last year. This is not something that just happened. These chickens have been wild for a year. So that's all I have to say.
Is that the council's copy?
Yes, I've got more copies too.
This where the swimming pool is that on the right-hand side on your side, or is it
That's
on
his.
the left-hand side?
So this houseboat is on your property?
Yeah, the houseboat and all that.
It's been more than 30 days, right?
Yeah, I've been
So
there
that's
for a
your,
year.
that's your houseboat?
If I do anything, though, I fear, I'm afraid.
But she has nobody to call.
Anybody else with Rocky Hollow? All right.
Well, actually, I think anybody can be sympathetic to what happened to you guys. I don't think there's nobody sitting here that can't say that shouldn't happen. But I would like to make a motion that we refer it to the sheriff's department to take over.
I've got a question. It's not really related to Rocky Hall. My name's Alicia Congleton and I live in Camden. I just have a question for the city council. Is Jenkins still a class 4 city?
There's no more class 4
There's not any
cities.
more classes.
Okay.
It's just Lexington, Louisville, and everybody else.
Okay.
It's based on it now. Whatever you bring up may be included, but
Well, never mind all that. The other thing is this thing here that you guys have listed as a police report. This is not a police report. This is probably a memo that, you know, the police officer wrote to the city council. A police report should be written on an e-nibris. And my question is, normally you have 7 to 10 days to have that submitted, transmitted. Do you know if that's been turned in by the city, the officer that responded to
I
that?
do not. That's what we've been provided.
Okay. This is not a
For the last
police report.
transfer.
This
No.
is a memo. And so that can't be changed because once those are submitted and then it's transmitted, but this is not a police report. I've never in my life saw a police report that had only one side of the story. And that's the alleged perpetrator side of the story. No victim, like the person that called 911 for help. And the reason I asked about the 24/7 or the class 4 city is because, you know, I've always been told class 4 city, we're supposed to have 24/7 protection in the city. You know, that's what we all signed up for and paid for, but we're not getting that. You know, I was driving home from work the other day, and I heard somebody up in Dunham call 911. She reported that her neighbor was in their yard screaming for help. The police never come. There was no police. And then I think, come to find out, it was a guy running naked up and down Dunham. Like, again, no city police responded to that. And my other question is, I think it's very convenient that the person we're talking about here has took a 3-week vacation. Now, any department that I've ever heard of, you have to request that time off. And I understand, like, look, if he's got it, he deserves it. But I thought it was very convenient to leave the city policeless for 3 weeks. Now, I'm not sure what's going on there, but that's my thing. But I just want the people to know this is not a police report. A police report is written on a Kentucky NIBRS. And this is not what this is. And that might not even be public record, but I would be curious to know if one of those have been done.
Yeah, and that was a memo provided to the council for the meeting for the last.
But this is not a police report, and that was what was on the agenda. We called it a police report. That's not a police report. Thank you.
Just going back.
No, the police report on this agenda is what he normally gives every month, not specific to this incident.
I'd be curious to see if there was a, and another thing, she's requested to review the body cam footage. Never been seen that. And I think she was told that he had to approve that. Where's the accountability there?
He doesn't have to approve it. It goes to the intrinsic site for evidence. That way everything can't be bothered with. The only one before that was Jim could get it down. So Mikey is working to get it down. So we had a holiday, we had another holiday, and then we've had a holiday today. So he came in today and left a message with him last Friday. So it's that part's coming because we want to see it too. But it's just not available because not everybody can just download it and have access to it. And then to the coverage. Before he left, we worked with coverage between state police, Neon's helping, and somebody should be coming.
Well,
if they call 911, that somebody should be on the way.
2 hours is too long to wait when you live in a city limits and you have police, you're supposed to have a police department.
And honestly,
Or not at all.
and this is not, and understand what, Alicia, I know what you understand what you're saying. But here's the thing that you gotta look at though, is we don't have 300 to 400 people lining up to be a cop in Jenkins. We don't have it. I wish, and trust me, I'm all for law enforcement, I'm all for everything. But there's not 100 people lined up putting in applications every day to be a cop in Jenkins.
They're qualified.
Can I say one more thing just to follow you up on that? Most people know me. I've been a police officer 13 or 14 years. I was laid off after the last sheriff election because I didn't have, obviously I didn't see eye to eye with the last person. And I'm not going to say his name because he murdered our district judge. I inquired about a job here to help my community and to help my city. And you know what I was told? Well, we have to check with Mickey, because, he might not come and even help you if you're in trouble because he didn't like me. Now, what kind of now, thank God that didn't work out. I'm where I'm supposed to be.
Amen.
But there has been qualified people that has inquired about jobs here.
And I'm sure they have. But I've not. I think we can all sit up and say I've not seen a whole applicants of people
I've never seen the first application.
of wanting to be here. So
That's not how it works here. You don't put an application in if it won't do you any good.
That's right.
Well, we discuss people working here, but whether or not we hire them is one thing. You know what I'm saying? That's just how things go. Some people put in, you don't get hired, some do get hired. So
Some don't stay after that.
Some don't stay.
We seem to be the stomping ground for everybody else.
We've trained over 50
go somewhere else.
people that have left as soon as they can.
And we have to change that. I'm not here trying to browbeat you all. It's not your all's fault. Well, at some point, but we have got to do something to make people want to come here.
And it's hard, and this, when Pikeville pays $20-some an hour or whatever, and if you can go to the academy and work here a few years and Pikeville comes along and says, I'll double, triple your salary, any young man, young woman, of course, I would tell anybody, go better yourself. Don't stay in one spot. If you can better yourself, go. But that's the problem you run into. You send these people to the academy, they sign a 2-year contract, they do their 2 years, and then when it comes up, another police department says, look, I'm going to double your salary if you'll come to leave. And and it's hard to retain people. So you really get, you don't get a lot of people that you can pick from. And trust me, we're trying. It's just, we had one officer now just left. He left the sheriff's department. So, it's just one of those things
That's before Academy Day.
But going back to your point, Ashley, go ahead.
Well, Councilman, you have a motion on the table.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
I want to speak to that motion, if you're open for it.
Yes.
The motion for a referral to the sheriff simply means that we'll take our criminal file, whatever it is. This file is still open as a criminal investigation. And the mayor will sign a letter asking the sheriff to assume the investigatory responsibility for seeing if there is a crime. And if it should go to the county attorney or go to the grand jury. So that's the nature of the referral for the councilman's education. So the motion's on the table.
Okay, motion on the floor, do I get a second?
I say.
All those in favor say aye.
Uh,
Can he refuse to do it out?
That's our next steps.
We don't know.
That's our next steps.
Because he might
And
not
I-
want him to Jenkins business.
But one of the things I think we should point out, the council does not get involved in investigations. That's not part of our role here. We're like we pass laws and that sort of thing, taxes and things. When it comes to the police department, the mayor handle that. We do not hire and fire. We can't have that authority. But we and what we do is make recommendations. And we have recommended to try to get more police on staff. We made that recommendation. And in the past, and they're trying, like he said, trying to get people here. And in my personal opinion, I think this investigation needs to be continued. In whatever manner it needs to be continued, but it needs to be continued because there's more evidence than what's in this little report.
We actually really are afraid now down there with him there. We really are.
And Jim left, and after he took his vacation, went up to the gas station to let him know he wasn't going to be around for 3 weeks, and said that Mayor Todd DePriest told him to take his body cam with him. That's what he went up there and told.
Well, that's allegations, but that's
That's not right.
That's
I mean, that's not right that him go up there and tell something like that.
no, I know that, and that's part of why we're here.
I want to add this
Discussing
too.
this.
Jim has been at their house probably 15 times in the past week, and here's a warrant for Sabrina's arrest. And he, if he sees her, he's supposed to take her into custody. And that can be the best thing that happens for those kids.
Okay,
I had a question. Do we have a police commission?
yes.
How do you, are we supposed to know who's on it? Can we know who's on it?
Right now, it's Sean, Rick, and Garnet.
So what does that entail? What is that commission?
It's set up for complaints to start off with. If there's a complaint against a police officer in specific, they put it in writing, give it to the police commission. And this is relatively new, been formed again from past ones that hadn't been, so. And they'll help review applications and try to make recommendations on hiring and try to get through what we're trying to get through right here.
I didn't know if we had one still or
There'd been one years ago, but most people left or passed away or moved on, so. Yeah, we
It was
have.
just reestablished earlier this year, wasn't it?
Yeah, just a while back.
I just had a question. Are the council members privy to know if there was a legitimate police report filed? She mentioned that if it doesn't get filed within 7 to 10 days, then it...
Let me correct myself. That's normally departmental policy, but you should have that policy. There should be responding to a complaint involving a felony accusation. There should be a Kentucky Night.
So if he didn't file his legitimate police report before his 3-week vacation, it still will go through?
They'd be part of the sheriff's investigation. It's all open.
Answer your question. I don't know.
And I already went through it in one thing too. When he was taken to jail on that failure to appear, Jim sat outside the jail and waited until he was released and gave him a ride back home. That's not really usually done.
We don't know that as a fact, but if you have more information, you can put that in a statement and get the commission. So we're picking through a lot of pieces here, a lot of pieces. So
But you should have arrested her for her.
that's another piece. Okay.
When you present this to the sheriff for investigation, what materials is the sheriff going to receive? Or for a review of the case? what will they-
The body cam footage once it's downloaded and what's in this report and if there was another report that I've not seen.
And this report, you mean the Jim's report?
Well, the memo,
The memo,
you probably should
rather.
call it, but yeah, just to clarify again too, police report on the agendas are every month. That is for him to get his, we so many arrests, so many whatever stuff, so it wasn't
It's the
part of it.
report to the city council,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
Will the, Ms. Gibbs'
Statements.
statement be
Yeah.
presented as well?
Yeah,
to the
and
sheriff?
he should contact her for further.
I see.
Justice. So
Have
that's,
a proper investigation would.
yeah,
Sorry, yeah.
our process now is to do this, to hand it off because of other situations that keeps the sheriff from getting involved. But this can open it up for him to be able to do it if he's willing to do it, working with the county attorney. So I hope that
Now,
is.
there's one more, I think, point to be made is that there used to be a process in Letcher County where you could go to the county attorney and press charges against someone. And I understand in September, we received a letter from Jamie Hatton that they no longer do that. So that takes off the table one option. That, people, sometimes when not satisfied with the police, they can go straight to the county attorney and press charges. But they can't do that now. I don't know why that was done, but that's beyond our control here. But that's something that just recently came out in
Yeah, it's something
September.
different. This has been a perfect storm of a lot of bad issues. If chicken hadn't been there, the dog wouldn't check, there's just all kinds of stuff that one piece would have not took care of everything, but it may not been the outcome we got. But did we pass the?
Yeah.
Okay, we're good. I'll make sure we got that done.
Who could she go to? I mean, besides she's talking to a lawyer, but I mean, nobody in Whitesburg will hear her because Jim talked to him first.
Randall, you want to take that one?
If I had a good answer, I would give it, but with the fact that you cannot go to the county attorney anymore to seek a warrant, it's a path into the courthouse that's been closed. And I don't know if they've come up with an alternate system or not, because otherwise you would have to go to the grand jury and present a case if it was a felony or a misdemeanor. So
And that possibly be the next step if this doesn't work. And I feel like this is going to get us somewhere.
But it's a problem for a lot of people that you cannot.
And her attorney should be able to advise her on and all that stuff, so.
I want to say this too. He's been making a Facebook post pretty much saying he's going to kill me. And I can't get any kind of protection order because there's no police investigation or report.
Have you
got that printed? You got proof of that?
Yeah.
I've seen the videos.
So Jim's 3 weeks off is giving him 3 weeks to potentially kill me.
Well, I would contact state police and say, this is something else that's going on, and see where, and hopefully between the two, they can.
I mean, it's getting scary when he posted the videos about do everything, well, they feel a lot worse, and gay neighbor at the end of it. So, I mean, we're living there where he cannot shoot you.
Well, I hate we're here, but we're going through our process to get to the next steps and hopefully straighten up a lot. Anybody else got anything? Joanne, you want to talk about the Christmas parade and the
Yes, I
Santa in
do.
the park?
Okay. Joanne Baldwin, I'm with the Jenkins State Committee, and our Christmas parade is December the 7th at 5. If you want to participate, call me, 832-4835, and give April a break, because everybody calls April. I'm Laura Gardner.
She can have it.
Okay, lights will be starting at 4:30 at the library and ending in the park. Our theme this year is Christmas in the park, okay? There'll be cash prizes, first and second floor float. We already have 2 entries on that. And side-by-sides, decorate your side-by-side, let people see your Christmas spirit. Okay, Santa will be on stage with a treat bag, gloves and toboggans for the children, and some toys was donated by Roy at the dollar store over here. And we're trying to get some more and everything, so we'll have enough. Usually we have around 200 and everything, kids that come through to see Santa. There'll be pizza by Kiwanis, hot chocolate by Verdun Ladies Auxiliary, popcorn by the committee, And attending performances is going to be the Jenkins Fire Department and police. They're always in the parade. And Burdine Elementary Dance Cats. That's Kayla Edwards is the coach and Bobby Polly. Silver Spinners will be here by Bonnie Kinser and Opal Sexton. Shriners and Masons said that they would have 10 to 20 cars in. They're going to bring in cars and Tony Potter is going to help them. And Marshall of the Fire Department involved. And Pizza Plus will be there. They always come. They called me from Knoxville main office. They always call. And we'd like for people to come to the park. We're going to decorate the stage, and they can come anytime. We'll have it and have the tree. We're going to ask the kids down Burdine or anybody that wants to come and put an ornament on it and let the kids come and decorate their city tree and take pictures. We had talked with the mayor, and I think Robin's going to get like a fireplace, and we're going to have a rocker and have the Christmas tree. So if people want to come and take family pictures there, they can. And we're going to try to get a nativity scene to put in the middle of the park. If anybody has any ideas, just let us know. If you want to help do anything, let us know. Come to the parade and pray that it doesn't rain or snow's okay, but we don't want it to rain. And if it doesn't work out that way, we'll be at the fire department like we used to. But we're going to try to get a theme, Christmas in the park all the time and work with that. If anybody's got any questions.
You guys do a great job with that. I don't know if anybody tell you, but you do. You do a great job with all you do.
They do.
There are only 5 of us.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's what I'm saying. You guys do great.
And I think our youngest one's around 50-something, and we're not gonna tell how old the rest of us are. So, but we like to do this for the kids.
Do you do a countdown with all the kids and then light the tree, like a tree lighting ceremony?
Well, we was gonna do that last year, but there was a medical emergency with somebody. The mayor was supposed to
do like a countdown and then light the tree?
Yeah, we're gonna do that too.
And it was raining and spitting, and the cameraman was not excited about getting his camera wet.
But like I say, we're gonna try to just keep adding to it every year too, maybe like every year 5 classes and everything, and then just keep that and make it really big and make it fantastic. Last year, we had the tree out here. And there was a man, and he had 2 small children, and we were walking to go to the fire department, and we were behind them. They had just moved here, and the little girl, there was a red pair of mittens on the tree. We put mittens and toboggans on the tree that anybody could come get them anytime. And she said, "Can I have that, Daddy?" And he said, "No." And we said, "Yes, get her toboggan gloves." Those kids didn't even have a coat on. So what you do, you never know how somebody may really need that to be done for somebody else. Have a Merry Christmas, see you at the parade.
And along those lines,
Decorate your dogs up.
April and Binky and Robin, they decorated, and the council or festival committee come over. So we had a real good, safe night, and the park, I think, looked really good. Binky strung the lights. A lot of people get involved in. I probably missed one of them, and I'm sorry whoever it is I missed. But get involved. After the fact, people say, "Well, I'd like to have this, get involved." Come build a float with your organization. So if you got a side by side, put some lights on it, but don't scream through town back and forth like some of them do. So
we meet every second Tuesday at 6 here at City Hall in this room right here. If you want to come, everybody, anybody, is invited to join and help us. The pay is not too good, which is 0, but
same as it's been. Any more citizens' concerns before we go on to the council? Hearing none, but if you come up with something, that's all right too. So, council got anything tonight that we've not already talked about and working on?
This was the main concerns.
Already, pretty much, we're working on stuff. I wish this got resolved a lot sooner, but there's processes and things we have to do to make it right and fix it right. So we're working on those things. Alrighty, I'll entertain that other motions.
I'll make that motion.
Alrighty, have a motion to adjourn in a second. All those in favor, say bye. Thank you all for coming.